there's contact very nearly. He just to the outside line. He breaks so much later. Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hey race fans, welcome in. This is week 10. Apex this fix Ferrari challenge, whatever which way you want to call it. This is week 10 of 12 weeks. This starts the championship run for our drivers. This week we head off to Circuit Zandvoort, nestled in the Dutch coastline, just 40 kilometers west of Amsterdam. This historic track is a fan favorite for its old school charm and thrilling layout. The Grand Prix circuit spans 4.259 kilometers. It's favorite for its old school charm and thrilling layout. The Grand Prix circuit is a challenge that actually wasn't on the F1 calendar from about 36 years. Came back in 2021, and that's when they did the redesign on it. And a couple of seasons ago, iRacing gave us that redesign. The new heavily banked corners into turn, I believe it's turn 3 that they call it. So you'll see plenty of that out here this evening with our drivers putting in their laps and qualifying right now. We'll get to those drivers in a few moments. Also, this is the most northerly circuit on the F1 calendar at latitude 52.3711 degrees. So a couple interesting facts there for the Circuit Zandvoort. As I mentioned, we got a championship that's kind of broiling down to the end here with a number of drivers battling across both of our classes. Let's take a look at the AM side of things here early on. Chris Diaz leading the way, currently 151 points. He is ahead of Oz Xulu. Oz at 134 in second place. Jesse Meager in third place, just ahead of Kent Kruger by 10 points. Aaron Sunday locking up the fifth place of the top five right there. You can see the rest of your favorite drivers on screen. And then we also have the pro side of things. Let's take a look at the pro standings. Joseph Marr leading the way, 5 points up on Justin Atchison. So tight battle there for top spot. Brian's in not too far back, another 6 points back of Atchison in third place. Lepke only 3 points back is into as well. And then we go a little ways back to Sean Teeter in fifth, who is only 1 point up on Mark Miller. So still plenty of jockeying to be had in our championship standings. So I mentioned we are underway in qualifying. Let's see if we can find a driver or two on track here as we go on board with our championship leader here, Joseph Marr, coming into this one in the pro side of things. We'll pop up here our standings, take a look and see how Joseph's doing so far in qualifying. Currently sitting in sixth place with a 135.16. That's almost a full second behind our top runner right now, Brian Lemke. Lemke's been coming on strong the last couple weeks of the season here. Some strong races, put together a nice run of races here. We'll see if he can do it again this week. He's got himself where he needs to be right now at the top of the qualifying standing. So see if he can translate that into a top finish too as well. But he's going to have some pressure here from Jesse Meager, currently sitting second place. Oh, I say that. Whole lot of shuffling going around there as he crossed the line, but as Jesse Meager crossed the line, he's going to move from the drop down to fourth, and pop himself all the way back up into top spot and knock Brian Lemke down into second place. So just as I was saying, that Lemke going to have some tough challenges here by some of the drivers in behind him. Jesse Meager shows what he's got here early on as he's going to take that top spot away from Brian Lemke. Joseph Marr moves up into third place. Nice run by him. Mark Miller, we haven't seen him in a couple weeks. See, he is in the top five battling for points, so he'd like to have a nice run here this evening. He's got Brian Zinn behind him. Zinn, another one of our championship contenders on the pro side. But let's go a little farther back. Kent Kruger. Kent with that same red graffiti type paint job that he had last week on his car. Kent straying away from his more traditional fluorescent yellow and green paint scheme. So see if he does Kent some good luck here this evening. Tony Phillips, we haven't had him out for a number of weeks, so nice to see Tony back. Currently sitting in a final spot in the top 10 at 10th place, just ahead of Justin Atchison by 0.15. So Atchison just outside the top 10. Looking in, Austin Ham, another driver we haven't had back for a couple weeks, but oh man, front end of that car is hurting. Corey Mitchell, no laps from Corey Mitchell yet. Interesting to see that Corey hasn't set a time. We've got 20 drivers in session here this evening. As it looks like Kevin Zhu popped in at the last second, so we'll wait and see if he heads to the track to put any laps in. But 20 drivers here, Circus Zandvoort, should be tons of fun. Let's take a look at our weather conditions out there. Right now we got 77-degree air temp. Let's get translate to 98-degree Fahrenheit. Track temp, track, a 0% chance of rain, which we like to see. Corey, I say he hadn't put a lap in, but his first one was decent. Gets him up into 7th place with a 134.6. 2 tenths back of Oz Xulu, currently in 6th place. Our top driver, though, right now, Jesse Meager, still holding on to top spot by only 3 100ths between he and Brian Lemke. Tight battle, and only 8 100ths back to Joseph Marr. So top 3 cars, you can put a blanket over them, tie it up, tie it in a knot, throw them in the closet. That's how close they are. Mark Miller a little ways back, almost 3 tenths behind him. Zinn almost 4 tenths behind him. So Zinn and Miller need to find a little bit of extra pace if they want to try and pick up a position here in qualifying. But I mentioned this is week 10 of 12. Let's take a look at our schedule here to see how we got to this point in time. As we see, we're right there around 10. Next week, we're going to head to Mid-Ohio. We're going to finish up the season at Indianapolis Road Course. So a couple interesting tracks here. Definitely a nice variety of tracks all throughout that schedule. It's been fun to see. I expect these last 2 weeks are going to bring a ton more excitement. So hop on board here with Jonathan Cooper. just under 2 minutes left to go. See if Coop has enough time to put in another lap. Looks like he's going to bail on that lap. Brian's in across the line. Oh, connection issue there for Zin. Not sure what happened there. We lost him as he blinked out for a moment. So we'll go on board here with Corey. Let's go on with board with Corey here and get an idea of the elevation changes here around Zandvoort. So it is a quite roller coastery-esque kind of layout. A lot of semi-blind corners, up and down hills, around corners. Not a whole lot of overtaking opportunities. So qualifying here is going to be pivotal for our drivers. Try and get themselves up towards the front of the field to start this one off, because there's not a whole lot of opportunities to make a pass. Maybe into turn 1, potentially into turn 7, coming down the hill through the sweeper. You can try and force a mistake, but otherwise anywhere else you really have to commit to a move, and someone call it a send or a dive bomb. So we don't want to see that from many of our drivers, so hopefully we don't have to worry much about that. But again, qualifying will get you out of that predicament. As you see Corey heading to the line here now. So we'll go outboard, see if Corey able to improve his time. Currently sitting in 9th place with 134.4. He's going to cross the line, move himself up into 4th place. So nice job there from Corey Mitchell. He'll definitely be happy with that. Slowly worked his way up through the qualifying grid. We saw him starting a little later than the rest of the drivers. Got himself up to about mid-pack on his first lap. His second lap moved himself up a little farther, and then his final lap up into the top 5. Nice run by him. Aaron Sending going to pull into the pits. Donald Mensing across the line. He's got himself a 139.6. It's good enough for 19th place, but that's going to do it for qualifying. We'll take a look at the grid here in a matter of moments. So it's timing scoring clicks over. There we go. Jesse Meager going to take top spot, just ahead of Brian Lemke. Joseph Maher and Corey Mitchell are going to make up row 2. Mark Miller and Brian Zinn in row 3 and 5th and 6th. Row 4 goes to Kent Kruger. Nice qualifying run by Kent. And Sean Teeter in 8th place. Ozzik Sulu and Jonathan Cooper are going to round out the top 10. Kelly Greenhoe and Tony Phillips are going to make up row 6. Row 7 is going to be Justin Atchison and Aaron Sunday in 13th and 14th. Austin Ham and Felipe Cox in 15th and 16th. Christopher Diaz and Paul Bailey 17th and 18th place. Donald Mensing in 19th, and Kevin Zhu did not put in a lap. So as I mentioned, he showed up in the lobby late. We'll see if he actually grids up and sets a time, but right now it looks like our drivers are gridding up, and we're just waiting for the pace car to pull away. So our pole sitter Jesse Meager in the I still haven't figured out what that paint scheme is supposed to be on the front of Jesse's car, but that's it's an interesting one. Our grid there, we're waiting for one driver, I believe Corey Mitchell, possibly Aaron Sunday, 2 as well, and Donald Mensing. So once those drivers grid up, we will be able to fire up the old race Cerrone and see what we can get done here as far as racing. So this will be our usual 40-minute race. Our drivers will have to make a fuel stop. They will not have to take tires. It's just to be a matter of a quick little splash of fuel and then continue on. We haven't actually seen a race. Any of our rain races actually finished with a wet track, so we haven't had any drivers to actually need to hop in and change tire compound. So I don't suspect we'll have rain for the rest of this season either. So it's just a matter of our drivers taking a little splash of fuel, get themselves to the end. We've had some drivers that have tried to employ the undercut method as far as pit strategy, where they pop in ahead of the car that they're potentially battling with, get that fuel service done early, and then try and put some hot laps in afterwards, try and get ahead of that driver once they come in for their service. So it'll be interesting to see if any of our drivers choose to take advantage of the undercut here this evening. It's really going to all play in on whether they're involved in any battles, but Meager and Lemke leading the field around behind the Porsche pace car. See nice uniform grid there for all our cars. They will have to wait for the green flag. It's not go on the leader, it is go on green. So Jesse Meager will have to wait for the drop of the green flag. We'll see kind of jump he can get on Brian Lemke to his outside. No doubt Joseph Marr and Corey Mitchell will be trying to find a way to leapfrog both those drivers and go on board here with Corey Mitchell. Have a look at what he's seeing out his front windshield. Looks like we're doing a full pace lap here this evening, so it's unfortunate. Cars are about halfway around the track here now. Let's take a quick look at the weather for this evening, see if there's been any changes. So 77 degree air temp, 96 degree Fahrenheit track temp. So we've actually lost a couple degrees of temp on the track. So that'll be a little easier for our drivers' tires. So it should be relatively tame as far as tire use and abuse. See one of our new drivers to the league, Felipe Cox. A little further back in the pack, he's got Chris Diaz up ahead of him, Donald Mensing, Paul Bailey, and Kevin Zhu, we can confirm, joined the grid here. So we have a number of red, black, and white Ferraris on the grid. So don't be rubbing your eyes if you think there's a number of cars that look very similar as far as the paint schemes. Actually, I think Corey Mitchell and Kevin Zhu might actually be wearing the same livery. So let's see if we can find, there's Corey there in the red, black, and white. And then Kevin Zhu, yeah. Same paint scheme. Jonathan Cooper, very similar to as well. And I believe Justin Atchison, usually very similar to as well. So a lot of red, white, and black Ferraris. Red Ferrari is always a classic color scheme. Our driver's heading into the 13th of 14 corners. This is the long sweeping right-hand corner that one of the corners they reprofiled when they did the redesign of the track. But pace car going to duck in here once we pop around this final corner. Then we'll be getting ready to go under green as we see a long shoot down the front straight. Car's going to be popping past us here in a matter of moments. Pace car will duck off to the right side. Very short pit entry here, so hopefully our drivers have practiced their pit entry, because they're going to have to get onto the binders really quick once they do decide to come in for their fuel service. And this Ferrari Challenge cars, not exactly the best way. Brian Lemke to his outside. Joseph Marr trying to look up the inside. Zinn making a move around the outside, up 2 spots early on. Corey Mitchell's going to lose a spot. Mark Miller going to lose a spot. Zinn took both of those positions away from those drivers. So we'll see here now if Zinn able to capitalize, move a little further. Corey Mitchell fighting back on the underside of Mark Miller. So we had a couple cars bang around on the outside. Looked like Kelly Greeno and Aaron Sunday get tangled up in something. Greenho missing the front end of his car. Take a look at what happened there in a matter of moments, but let's go back up into the front. Jesse Meager holding on to his top pole position here, trying to open up a gap over Brian Lemke, not able to do so, but they are pulling away from Joseph Marr, who's falling back a little bit. Zinn looking in the inside of Marr already, unable to make that pass. Joseph Marr going to cover off the outside as they head into turn 10 now. Marr with the preferred line on the inside. Zinn looking around the outside, unable to make that pass. Corey Mitchell starting to creep back into the discussion here and behind those two cars. Let's go on board here with Mitchell. You can see that battle up ahead of him. Corey closes right up on the tail of Zinn into the braking section for turn 11 and 12. 2 more corners to go, and that will wrap up the first lap here. Sean Teeter, Mark Miller not too far back here either. Teeter in his traditional black and green Monster Energy paint scheme he usually throws on the car. So a little farther back, I think that might be Austin Ham missing the front end of his car. He is as well. So we should mention our drivers do have a spare car, fast repair, whatever you would like to call it, where they can pop into the pits and any damage on their car will be immediately repaired. They can only get one of those though, so it's to use it wisely. A lot of drivers try to use it when they come in for their pit service, get their fuel. Oh, we've got a car around Corey Mitchell. Oh no, and a promising start for Corey Mitchell has gone awry now. It looks like Corey's car fairly clean though. It looks like he kept it off the wall, so we'll see. Hopefully you can get that machine back up towards the front where he was battling. Let's take a quick look here at what happened to Corey. So we see him following Brian's in into the bank corner, turn 3. You can see all the gravel already kicking up there. It looks almost like Mitchell just got on the throttle a little too early there, lost the back end. But yes, he does keep it off the wall, so no damage on that car, just time lost. So see if Corey can move his way back up towards the front. Speaking of the front, Jesse Meager holding strong onto that pole position. He nabbed away from Brian Lemke. Lemke not letting him go though. Top 3 starting to break away as in falling back a little bit from Barr. We got a battle a little farther back though. Jonathan Cooper's caught up to the back of Sean Teeter and Mark Miller. That's going to be a battle shaping up for 5th place. Coop hasn't been around for a couple weeks, but he's coming back here with a vengeance. Something to prove, it looks like, on Jonathan Cooper as he shows the nose up the inside of Sean Teeter. Teeter holds off that charge though. So see if Coop can continue to try and find a way around Teeter. He's looking to the inside again into turn 3. Unable to make that pass. Teeter going to defend around the outside. It's going to drop Cooper off though. He had to gather that car back up. Ozzik Sulu right there now. Sulu looking to try and pounce. Like something happened to Kent Kruger now. Let's see what happened to Kent. Oh, it already lost the back end of that car. No wing, no rear bumper. That means no downforce on this car that has next to no downforce to start with. Oh, and that's going to pretty much do it for Kruger's day. Let's see here. I think this might have been how that all kicked off the original damage. Let's see what happened. Oh, it's kind of similar to Corey where he's got back in the throttle. The back end snapped around on him. So you should be able to get back on track from that. So Kent might have had another off track a little later on. This one might be... This might be where he lost the back. Oh, was there? He just back too far off track. It's unfortunate for Kent Kruger there. It's a little unfortunate the way iRacing dictated that damage on the back of his car. A little bump on the wall backing up. You wouldn't think he'd lose the back bumper and rear wing, but fortunate for Kruger. Up front though, in a battle for 2nd place as Jesse Meager's pulled away from Brian Lemke. Lemke having to deal with Joseph Marr now. Marr putting a bunch of pressure on the back of Lemke. Those 2 black Ferraris trying to chase down the blue mean car of Meager up ahead. Brian's in back in this battle now. We saw he had fallen back a little bit from Joseph Marr. He's now reeled that duel right back in. Battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Not too far back of them either. See Mark Miller and Sean Teeter just ahead there. Jonathan Cooper, Ozzik Sulu trying to regain that battle too as well for 5th place. A little farther back though. We got a couple red Ferraris here battling Tony Phillips and Justin Atchison. It's like Corey Mitchell might have went off again. Bad day going worse here for Corey. Let's see what happened to him. It's like again that same corner having an issue. Oh, he's going to lose it off of the wall. He's going to lose the back wing and rear bumper just like we saw happen to Kent Kruger. So see, it looks like Corey going to try and drive it back to the pits, but that car is just not happy. Dog walking. Yeah, it's going to be probably quicker to tow for Corey on that one, but unfortunate for him. He's going to give up the ghost there. Call the tow truck and head back to the pits. So 2 of our men, Corey Mitchell, Kent Kruger, started out promising races. Unfortunately, they have fallen by the wayside here. So let's see if we can go back here and catch what happened on lap 1 between Kelly Greenhoe and a couple other drivers. I'm trying to remember. I think Aaron Sunday might have been in that. Austin Ham potentially. Let's see here what happened from Kelly Greenhoe's point of view. So Greenhoe, the white, blue, and gray camo colored car. So he's working his way into turn 3. Oh, he's just going to lose the back end, spinning around there. Oh, a couple cars just get bottled up. Oh, it looks like he was fine. It looks like Chris Diaz came through there and just clipped the front end. Not sure why he drove through there, but see, Paul Bailey might have been involved in this too as well. Bailey starting at the back of the pack. See what he saw as he was coming through this. Sees Aaron Sunday spin up ahead. Has to come a complete stop to not hit him. Nice avoidance there by Paul Bailey. And I'm not sure if Aaron Sunday hit anybody or if it was just, oh, he got into it a little bit with Austin Ham as they came into the corner. And I know, similar to what we saw happen to Corey Mitchell, just lost the back end, unfortunately. Let's go back to live video here. Looks like Mark Miller, Sean Teeter's fallen back off Mark Miller, now in behind John Cooper and Isaac Sulu. See what happened to Teeter in a few moments here, but pop back up front as Brian Lemke starting to charge forward now, chasing down Jesse Meager. That gap now only 4/10. Joseph Marr's fallen back off this battle. So Lemke was able to drop Joseph Marr back into the clutches of Brian Zinn in behind. He's now starting to chase Jesse Meager down up front. You see here Sean Teeter back in behind Isaac Sulu. You see if there's any damage on that car to explain how he got back there. Not seeing anything pop off here. Let's see, Sean Teeter went off track. Let's see what happened here. It's the same corner 3 potentially. We saw Corey Mitchell have some issues. Aaron Sunday, Kate Gruner, number of drivers. Fortunately for Sean, it's like the tiniest little touch of the wall there for him. You get the car gathered up, get it back on track, only to lose a few spots. Much better result than unfortunately what we saw happen to Corey Mitchell when he hit the wall. So we're here with Isaac Sulu looking back at Sean Teeter. Sulu up 2 positions from where he qualified. One of those from Corey Mitchell, one of those from Sean Teeter, the car in behind him right now. So see if Sulu able to hold off Teeter. We got Felipe Cox trying to chase down Austin Ham. Ham missing that front bumper. So I had that little contact with Aaron Sunday heading into turn 3. That cost him to lose the front bumper, unfortunately for him, but he's maintaining some decent pace out there right now, though in 11th place, holding off Felipe Cox as much as he can right now. Have a look back here from Ham's wing. See Felipe Cox lurking in the background there. Cox thought about diving up on the inside. Thought better of it. Kevin Zhu, Aaron Sunday not too far back either. 4-car battle here for 11th place, being led around by Austin Ham at this point in time. Let's go back up here. Check on the battle between Mar Zinn and Mark Miller. Starting to get into this battle now as he's pulled away from Jonathan Cooper, Isaac Sulu, and Sean Teeter. Now the more that Zinn and Mar battle, that's going to allow Mark Miller to really close that gap up on as they head into turn 11 and 12. You can see all the debris thrown up on track. So we've had a number of drivers dipping tires into the gravel and kicking it up on track. That's going to cause a little bit of understeer for our drivers. They hit into those corners. A little bit of rolling on the gravel, but around the final corner they go. See the flowers just blown in the wind as these Ferrari 296 challenge cars go flying by. Into turn 1 we go. Mar dives it in deep. You can see Zinn lurking in the rear mirror. You can see that battle for top spot. Not too far ahead of Joseph Marr. They're keeping Lemke and Meager within their eyesight right now. Let's go a little farther back here and check on the battle here between Sulu, Teeter, Cooper. Jonathan Cooper, the red-black car just up ahead. Sean Teeter's gotten himself around Isaac Sulu. Regained one of those positions he lost. It's going to put Sulu only +1 for the day now, unfortunately for him. Let's take a look here at how Sean Teeter got himself around Isaac Sulu. Isaac Sulu with a little bit of a wiggle out of turn 10. Allowed Teeter to go up the inside. See Jonathan Cooper up ahead. Oh, it looks like something's happened to Donald Mensing while we were away watching the replay of that. Mensing across the line, heading into turn 1, coming in hot. Is he going to miss the braking marker? Ooh, he's coming in way too hot there. Oof. Into the wall. That's a tough hit for Donald Mensing. He's going to bounce off that wall, head right back out on track though. On board with Kevin Zhu. He's got himself up 8 spots. Remember, Zhu did not qualify, started at the back of the pack. Trying to work his way through, got himself up into 12th place. That's +8 on the day. Started in 20th position. He's got Austin Ham, our Ferrari, missing the front bumper up ahead. If I was Austin Ham, he should be almost in the pit window here, if not in the pit window already. I would pop in early on as soon as that window opens, get that front end fixed on that car, start trying to push forward. He's been doing well to keep up the pace right now with definitely aero deficiencies on the front end of that car. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of laps he can put down with a fully repaired car. Head back up front, Jesse Meager holding steady under the pressure from Lemke. Lemke trying to force a mistake. Looking left, looking right. Meager trying to late apex that corner. Much tighter line for Lemke. It's going to allow him a better exit here, but unfortunately not much of a run between these two corners. Really going to move to try and dive up underneath. The draft not strong on these cars. It's really tough to try and look up the underside. See what kind of run Lemke can get down the front straight here. Potentially we can make a move into turn 1 on board here with Lemke. You see this draft is not strong in these cars. Only making maybe a 10th up on the front straight. Lemke trying to late brake though into that corner. Fortunately for Lemke, Meager able to get in and out of the corner a little quicker than he could there. Varying lines into turn 3. Meager keeping it about midway up the banking. Lemke opting to go all the way up around the track, up the top, trying to use that entire banking to his advantage. Looks like it's not working out though, as Meager opening up that gap further. 7/10 now between these two drivers. Hearing potentially an issue for John Cooper. Let's pop back here. Coop starting to feel some pressure from Sean Teeter. Teeter's closing up on Jonathan Cooper. Oh, a little wiggle there from Cooper as they're heading out of turn 8 into turn 9. Had to gather that car back up. Teeter's going to try and capitalize on that. Let's take a look here. Sean Teeter lurking in behind Jonathan Cooper. Cooper up 4 spots from when he qualified for the day. It's a nice race right now for Jonathan Cooper. 1 spot out of the top 5 in 6th place. I'm sure he'd love to try and chase down Mark Miller up ahead. Let's go back to this battle here between Zin and Mar. Zin falling 1.7 seconds back of Mar now. Mark Miller not too far back, still keeping Zin within eyesight here as they head down the front straight. That's going to wrap up lap 10 and start lap 11 for our drivers. So Kevin Zhu had an off track here. Let's see what happened to him. Ooh, he's going to lose the back end of that car. It's going to swing around, keep it off the wall. That's going to allow Austin Ham and I believe Justin Atchison to move up and around by him. So see if he's able to recover. So Kelly Greenhough's been in for his service. He's got a new front end on that car. So see if Kelly able to utilize the undercut there and move around. But a couple drivers we saw tangle on lap 1. Austin Ham, Aaron Sunday back on track together. Aaron Sunday trying to make the move around Austin Ham. Ham still driving that aero deficient car with no front end on it. It's definitely going to hurt his turn in a little bit without the little bit of aero that these cars do have. When you lose that tiny bit of aero on the front end with the splitter and the little bit of Cunards that are on that front end, it's going to affect your turn in. So I suspect that we'll see Aaron Sunday and Kevin Zhu potentially be able to move up underneath Austin Ham here in a matter of a lap or two. Ham doing everything he can to try and keep that car out front though. Again, if I was him, I'd pop into the pits now, get that front end done, get your service done, and then just push towards the end of the race. But we'll see. A couple more corners to go. We'll see if he pops in and takes his fuel service. Just going board with Kevin Zhu. He's watching this battle just up ahead of him. Into the fast sweeping right-hand corner, the final corner on track. Down the front straight they go. Looks like, hey, I'm going to say it looks like Kevin Zhu going to pop in for his service. So Zhu going to try the undercut. We'll have to keep an eye on how this plays out. We know he just spun off track not long ago, so he's going to try and cut his losses there, come in for service. We see Kent Kruger still in the pits, although his car looking like it's back in shape there for him, but Kent's going to call it a day. He's been in there for 14 minutes. Jesse Meager still out front, holding off Brian Lemke. Lemke unable to find a way around Sean Teeter now, putting a ton of pressure on. Oh, Jonathan Cooper, they get into each other. Teeter giving the Cooper a little bit of a punch there on the back end. He's going to fall back a little bit. Cooper going to try and open up that gap now over Teeter. Again, you can see all the gravel getting kicked right back up. Our drivers come through and they end up throwing that gravel back off of the track each time by, but it looks like another couple cars have gone through and kicked a whole bunch more back on. And around the front straight, they're going to go this time. We'll see if either Cooper or Miller pop in to get their fuel service done. No, both are going to keep going. Ozzie Sue in behind. He's going to come across too as well. Tony Phillips, Justin Atchison. A couple red Ferraris battling down the front straight. Phillips leading this two-car battle. Atchison looking to the inside. He's going to make that move stick on the inside. Phillips going to try the crossover. He might maybe get work. Atchison trying to fight back the inside. He'll have the inside line for the next two corners. He's going to take that spot away as Tony Phillips ducks back in behind. Nice move by Justin Atchison into turn one. That's, as I mentioned early on, that's basically your prime overtaking opportunity. There's not really a whole lot of opportunities here to pass at Zandvoort, that being the best one. Justin Atchison took advantage of it. Lemke still trying to pressure a mistake here from Jesse Meager. Oh, he's going to look to the inside. Meager went wide out of turn 10. Lemke trying to find a way, unable to do it. Meager went wide, but he was able to get back into the throttle a little sooner than Lemke. That helped him stay up ahead into the 11 and 12 chicane. I guess a chicane hairpin. It's kind of a chicane slash hairpin. It's kind of an odd corner. Anyways, Meager going to hold on to that stop spot. Out of the final corner they go. See if either one of these two drivers pop in for some service. Meager might be thinking about it, trying to relieve some pressure from Lemke as they're coming up to lap traffic up ahead. Felipe Cox, the 16th place car, just up ahead of this battle. Felipe Cox has been in for his service and back out, so this is probably a good time for either one of these drivers. Whether it was Jesse Meager or Brian Lemke, the strategy would be perfect for either one to pop in. You can see there's lap traffic coming up ahead. I mentioned that it's really tough to move your way around a car here where there's not a whole lot of overtaking opportunities. That counts just as much when you're trying to overtake the lap traffic too as well. Not really a whole lot of positions to try and make your way around that car. So I would opt to pop in here, get my fuel service done, relieve that pressure. You don't have to deal with that lap traffic. Maybe you get yourself into a clear area of the track right now. I'm having a look. Roughly about 30 seconds on and off the pit lane right now. That would put Jesse Meager and Brian Lemke somewhere in around just behind Tony Phillips, ahead of Aaron Sunday. There's a nice little gap there they could probably fit themselves into. A nice 15-second gap between those two cars. You can find yourself some clear air. So if either one are listening, I'm telling you, go for the undercut here right now. We'll see if either driver pops in, as they've got two lap cars up ahead of Felipe Cox and Chris Diaz, only 2 seconds up the road. On board here with Lemke. So both drivers going to head down the front straight again. So I think it's safe to say neither one are listening to the broadcast here, but let's go back to this battle between Atchison and Phillips. So Atchison get around Phillips last time into turn one. Let's see if Tony Phillips can answer back this time. Oh, it looks like Phillips maybe a little too far back compared to where Atchison was when he made his move into turn 1. The draft just not strong enough on these cars for Phillips to get a nice run, but he's going to close that gap. Took about 3/10 off Justin Atchison into turn 1. So see if Tony Phillips can continue to try and work down that gap the rest of this lap here. Potentially make a move next time by on Atchison. I mentioned the lap cars of Cox and Diaz. They now have the leaders right in behind them. So this is exactly what I warned them about. So you should have popped in, had the your service. Now you're trying to make your way around the lap cars. You see what kind of trouble that brings. Is now Joseph Barr and Brian Zinn right in this battle now. So you've brought the 3rd and 4th place cars into the battle. See now if Zinn and Mar can try and find a way to insert themselves into this battle for top spots. They still have the lap car Felipe Cox up ahead. Looks like luckily they're going to catch Cox in the final 2 corners, which is the long right-hand sweeper. Should be able to make the move around at him into turn 1. I suspect Felipe is going to pull over and just let them by. We'll see here though. To go on board here with Felipe Cox. He does. He lets them by. Looks like Zinn going to pop into the pits. Looks like Barr and Lemke going to get through too as well. Brian Lemke going to take the strategy play. He's going to come in for the undercut. Wise choice. Probably should have hit the lap before though, but Sean Teeter coming in too as well. Now we'll see once Zinn gets back on track. He gets back on some clear track and he can push forward, push some hot laps through. As these two are going to continue to battle, Meager and Lemke. They now have Joseph Marr almost in this battle too as well. If Marr can take another half a second off, they'll be within the draft range. He's doing what he can. 1.1 now. If you get that down to 8/10, that's about the draft range on these cars, and he can start to be a factor in that battle for top spot. We got Austin Ham in the pits too as well. He's going to come in and get that front end fixed up. There we go. Front end pop back on there for him. So we'll see him back out on track here in a matter of moments. But Kelly Greeno, one of our drivers that had to come in early to get that repairs done, and I mentioned himself back up into 12th place, 1 spot below where he qualified. So the only cars ahead of him that have come in for pit service is Brian Zinn and Sean Teeter. Teeter directly in front of him. I want to say directly, he's about 20 seconds down the road, but position-wise. So let's go back to our lead battle here. Looks like Meager Lemke going to go around another time. Marr too as well. As we are past the halfway mark, what do we got? We got 14 minutes to go in this one, 14 and a half or so. So our driver's going to start getting down to the end of their fuel load. They can run normally about 28 to 30 minutes, depending on the track, as far as how much open full throttle that they're doing each lap. Jonathan Cooper's come in for his service. Tony Phillips just matched and they're still on track. Atchison's now pulling away from Phillips. Phillips a little slower lap last time by, 135.61 to Atchison's 134.99. That's allowed Atchison to open up 2.3 seconds over Phillips. So see if Tony can gather himself back up, starting to push forward. But our technical leader right now is Brian Zinn, highest place of our pit stoppers, currently in 8th place. We'll see where he cycles through once Meager, Lemke, Marr come in. Mark Miller as well. I haven't seen a pit from him. Miller not too far back of that top battle either, only 3 seconds, just under 3 seconds back of Joseph Marr up ahead. So if something were to happen between those 3 up front, if they were to battle or tangle, Mark Miller could be potentially right in there with an opportunity to take this one. Out of the final corner, our leader comes. Brian Lemke in tow. They're going to go around another time. They've knocked Joseph Marr a little bit farther back. Marr with not the best final sector there, cost himself a bit of time. He's going to push forward to try and close up that gap though. It's our closest battle on track, is our battle for the lead. We'll stay with this one for now. Let's go on board with Lemke. Oh, has the bailout to the right as Jesse Meager lost. The car got squirrely through turn 3. Lemke finally forcing the mistake he was trying to force all race. Can try and capitalize on it now. Now let's see. Brian Lemke's out front. Is he able to run away from Jesse Meager? Meager now having to focus rearward and frontward, trying to take back top spot from Lemke, but he's also got Joseph Meyer in behind. This is always a tough position to be in, where you got car chasing you right behind and you're trying to chase down the leader up ahead. But let's take another look here at how Lemke got around Meager. So Meager up ahead. Oh, he just, the same thing we saw happen to a number of drivers, Corey Mitchell, Sean Teeter, where the car just got loose up on that banking. Thankfully for Meager, though, he was able to gather it up, collect it up, keep the car on track. Only lost that one spot to Brian Lemke, so we'll see if Meager can push forward, try and take that spot back from Lemke. Although Lemke really pushing hard. Now he's got up front, trying to open up that gap. He's actually got Jesse Meager out of the draft onto the front straight, so that's exactly what Lemke needed to do if you want to try and break the draft of Jesse Meager. Joseph Meyer going to come in for his service. So we'll have to keep an eye on Brian Zinn. That's the driver that was ahead of Joseph when he came in for service. So Joseph into his stall. Let's pick up Brian Zinn as he's heading through the final corner now. Down the front straight. So Joseph Meyer in his stall. He's now left his stall and exiting. See Meyer there, and there goes Zinn on the outside. Meyer still has to make the corner to get himself back on track. He's going to come out. Looks like Zinn going to take that spot back, so they're going to cycle back through how they were. Oh, Joseph Meyer tried to duck up underneath there, but he has cold tires. Even though he was only in his pit stall for about 9 seconds, those tires are going to be a little cooler. Versus Brian Zinn, who's had a couple laps to get them back up the temp. So we'll see now here. Joseph Meyer can try and push, try and take that position away. Oh, Lemke. Something's happened to our leader, Lemke. He's got no wing. Now falling back. Jesse Meager now 6 seconds up the road. Let's see what happened to Brian Lemke. I mentioned he was pushing the envelope here. His pace. Let's get out front. Looks like he's going to be another turn 3 victim. Coming in. Oh, again. It's very strange. These cars just losing the back end up on that banking like that. No doubt we'll see Lemke in this time for his service. There he is. He's coming into the pits. So what could have been for Brian Lemke is now on trying to minimize the damage at this point in time. So into his stall, he'll get that car repaired. There's the wing back on. A bit of fuel and away he goes. Check back into the battle between Zinn and Meyer. Meyer holds strong about 9/10 back as Zinn. He's closed himself back up into draft. Jesse Meager out front now. Now, I'm going to say the opposite plays true. If I was Jesse Meager, I'm going to take this fuel load to the very end. You have no pressure in behind you. You've got 25 seconds to Brian Zinn and Joseph Meyer in behind. You've got low fuel right now. Push, push, push. Take it as far as you can, but I'm suspecting that he is at the tail end of his fuel load there right now, as we're at the 31-minute mark. And normally they can go anywhere between 28 to, I guess, about 32 minutes on the fuel load. So expect our leader, Jesse Meager, come in this time by for service. Let's go on board with him as he heads into the final 2 corners, 13 and 14. See Austin Ham just up ahead. He's been in for service, had that car repaired. I suspect we will see our leader pop in here this time by. Meager holding tight to the line. Yeah, he's holding over on the pit lane entry there. So there we go. That's going to be our leader in. I suspect Mark Miller, Ozzie Sulu, Justin Atchison, Tony Phillips, all those drivers are going to come through as well for the service. Actually, Mark Miller going to go around one more lap. Interesting that he's been able to save enough fuel for one more lap. Hopefully he's got enough to get himself back around, as Zandvoort's one of those tracks where the start-finish line at the very front of, or sorry, the very start of pit lane. So you actually cross start-finish line before you get into your pit stall. So sometimes that can throw off your fuel calculator. Will tell you have another lap of fuel but it's not calculating in where your pit stall is actually after the start finish line. So we'll see. Mark Miller out front. Brian Zinn, Joseph Marr have both got themselves around Jesse Meager. So let's take a look at the pit times here. Jesse Meager, 33.1 pit stop to 32.1 for Marr and 31.2 for Zinn. So a little slower pit stop for Jesse Meager, and that's cost him potentially a win here as Zinn and Marr are both out front. So something happened to Jonathan Cooper. Let's take a quick look here at that. So Coop kind of all by his lonesome here. Pushing into turn 11 and 12. Oh, he's going to miss the turn in, fortunately for Coop. So back up front with their leader, Mark Miller. Miller has to pit this time, no doubt. There it is. He's coming in. He's going to be coming in on fumes. So he's going to head down pit lane. That's going to should put Brian Zinn back up top. So Miller into his stall, still in his stall now, getting service. Zinn, Marr, and Meager should be easily past him. Brian Lemke actually running the day here right now. As far as damage mitigation, we saw him go off track, hit the wall, and lose that rear wing. He's been able to drive the car back around, get his pit service done, and is still only 3.5-4 seconds back of the leader. So Lemke not out of this one. If something were to happen in our top three up ahead here, we potentially could be right back into it. And we've seen a number of drivers struggle with that turn 3. So drivers on old tires here now. I mentioned that they don't need to get tires, just fuel in this race. But as the race goes on, old tires, light rear end, because they got the light fuel load out there. Anything could happen in turn 3 right now. Zinn leading the way. Joseph Marr 1.1 seconds back. Jesse Meager right in there too as well. Meager 1.2 back of Marr. Lemke only 1 second back too as well. So still a lot to unfold here in the front of this pack for the battle. But a little farther back, we got Kevin Zhu trying to chase down Kelly Greenhill, a couple drivers who have had not the most memorable of races, probably a race they'd like to forget, but Greenhill all in all getting himself +1 from where he qualified up into 10th place. Kevin Zhu 9 spots up, but let's go back up top here as our leaders head down the front straight to finish up lap 22 and start lap 23 for them. Zinn still holding top spot, 9/10 over Joseph Marr. Marr with 9/10 over Jesse Meager, 1.3 seconds over Brian Lemke. Mark Miller not too far back either, only 2.3 seconds back of Brian Lemke. So I'd say anybody in our top 5 potentially still could take the win. Even Sean Teeter, if it was a big enough wreck in 6th place. Teeter not too far back, 9 seconds back of our leaders. If something were to happen amongst them, he could be right in there licking his chops. But Brian's in, currently leading the way. Utilize the undercut strategy once those top 4 cars got bottlenecked up. Moving the way through the lap traffic, he chose to come in, get his service done, relieve the pressure, get out into clear air, and allowed him to put in some quicker laps where the rest of the cars either battled the car behind them or tried to work the way through lap traffic. Right now, it looks like it's been the play. Let's take a look back here from Zinn. You can see Marr, Meager, Lemke all lurking in the background. They're going to cross the line with about 3 minutes to go. It's about 2 more laps, potentially 3 laps, depending how quickly they put in these laps. Zinn holding top spot, that gap coming down now, only 5/10 heading into the braking section for Joseph Marr as he tried to dive it in deep. Zinn able to get back in the throttle a little quicker, opens that gap back up to about 8/10. Jesse Meager, no doubt, thinking about what could have been at this point in time. We still got potential to move ahead as we still got 2 more laps to go. Well, this one plus 1 more at least. So the car's bouncing and bobbing as they head through the turn 5-6 section. Fast sweeping corners. Trying to utilize all the runoff they can up on the curbs. Stiffly sprung Ferrari challenge cars don't necessarily like to be thrown up on the curbs like that. You see them rattling and jarring around. It's easy to get the car loose. Use the back end. Not a lot of downforce to hold that car planted into the track. But our leader's moving the way around. Chris Diaz, it's the lap car on the outside. He's on the radio letting them know where to go. Nicely done by Diaz. That's what we like to see. That did allow us in to open up that gap now, though, 1.1 seconds over Joseph Meyer. Meyer now, Hager and Lemke right there in behind him. Down the front straight we go. Our driver's going to cross with... It's going to be real tight if we have 1 or 2 more laps here. Barney waving the white flag. This is the last time by. Now, can Zinn hold on to that position? Can Mar hold off Meager and Lemke? Can Meager hold off Lemke? Lemke looking to the outside. Trying to force a mistake from Jesse Meager. Into turn 3. Both these drivers have had their issues in that corner. They both get through safely. Zinn now pushing forward. Got that gap 1.4 seconds up ahead. Looks like the battle right now is for second place. Joseph Meyer holding on to that position. Take a look back here from Joseph Meyer. Jesse Meager falling back a little bit. No doubt mirror watching to see where Lemke's going to move in behind. Lemke moves, makes a move on the outside. Meager holds the tight line. Lemke trying to force a mistake from Meager. He's trying to duck, dive, dodge, and dip. Unable to make the move. Looks like he's going to hold on to that spot. Looks like Jesse Meager should be able to hold on to third place, final step on the podium, barring a mistake. But our leader, Brian Zinn, into turn 11 and 12. All kinds of debris and gravel thrown up on track there. Looks like Joseph Meyer really pushed out wide, cost him a bunch of time exiting that corner. Jesse Meager is going to close that gap, but up front, Brian Zinn out of the final corner. He's going to take round 10 at Zandvoort. Joseph Meyer, Jesse Meager fighting down the front straight. Meager not going to get enough run to make a move. Meyer going to take second place. Meager going to take third. Brian Lemke going to have to settle for fourth. Justin Atchison, nice day for him. Up 6 spots into 7th place as he heads across the line. Kelly Greenhoe. Rough first lap for Kelly. Spin in turn 3 as we saw happen to a number of drivers. Unfortunately for him, got tagged on the front bumper as one of the other cars was trying to make their way through. Had to come in and get some service, get that car back on track. He's been able to nurse it back home though for a spot just outside the top 10 in 11th. Austin Ham as well, another driver. Came into this one probably hoping for a better result. He's going to be +2 positions on the day though. Had that lap 1 fender bender with Aaron Sunday where he just kind of knocked off the front bumper. Fortunately for him, he was fighting aero deficiency all the way up until his pit stop. Felipe Cox going to bring it home in 14th place. Gained 2 positions for him. Nicely done. And then I believe it looks like we're just waiting for Donald Bensing, I believe. No, that's it. Everybody is official. The race is official. We'll take a look at the official results here in just a moment. Their drivers run their cool down. Brian's in. Good take home top spot. 1.3 seconds over Joseph Meyer. Joseph Meyer comes home in second. Jesse Meager in third. Brian Lemke in fourth. Mark Miller in fifth. Teeter in sixth. Atchison in seventh. Ixulu eighth. Phillips in ninth. Kevin Zug rounding out the top 10. Kelly Greenhoe in 11th. Sunday in 12th. Ham in 13th. Cox in 14th. Diaz, Bailey, and Mensing all lap down. Jonathan Cooper out early, 6 laps down in 18th. Then we saw Corey Mitchell and Kent Kruger out early on, unfortunately for each one of those drivers. But so that's going to wrap up the race here. We'll see if we have any of our drivers coming in for chat here in a matter of moments. But right now, what a race! Tough track, as I mentioned early on, to pass at. Not really a whole lot of opportunity to make those moves. Really, turn one is about the only opportunity you really have to make a move around here without really forcing a mistake by another driver. So well done by all of our drivers. For the most part, fairly clean. We just saw self-inflicted mistakes by a number of our drivers, which cost them positions. So we hope for some great racing like that the rest of the remainder of the season. And really got 2 more weeks to go, but let's catch up. We've got a couple of drivers in the guest room. Let's bring in our race winner, Brian Zinn. Zinn, congrats. Looks like pit strategy played out well again for you this week.
I'm shocked that it played out that well. I was not expecting to cycle into the lead from what was I, 4th place going into the pits. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I was well, you obviously didn't hear it. You weren't watching the broadcast, but I was staying once the top 4 all got bottlenecked up there, especially when when Meager and Lemke caught Chris Diaz and I believe it was Felipe Cox, the lap cars. I was saying that this would be the best time to pop in and get your service instead of having to deal with the lap cars. Get yourself into clean air. And the lap later, you actually came in and did it, and it looks like that was the best idea. Is those other 3 cars, I guess, lost themselves a bunch of time by waiting a little later on. But you saw a number of drivers having trouble with turn 3, the banked corner. We saw Corey Mitchell lose the back end. We saw Brian Lemke, Sean Teeter. I think Kent Kruger lost the back end there too as well. Aaron Sunday, Kelly Greeno, a number of drivers. Did you find it a real issue with this car? It seemed like it didn't have anywhere near enough downforce on the back end to really keep the car planted through that corner.
No, I didn't personally have any issues with it. The Ferrari Challenge car is tough on the throttle with the turbo, so it's tempting to kind of treat the loud pedal as an on-off switch sometimes. But I had actually thought the banking helped the car. My biggest complaint with the Ferrari is just lack of front end grip sometimes. It just is an understeer machine. So for me, getting on the banking was like, cool, I know for sure it'll turn in this corner. But it may have been just the line I was taking through there. Seemed like I was taking a little bit more of a dramatic go up the banking and then come back down. Other guys seem to be keeping it a little bit shallower through there. So I don't know if that played a part or not. It's a shame that guys were struggling with it, because with how tight qualifying was, it was going to shape up to be a real close race, I feel like.
He came into this one, I believe, 3rd in the points behind Joseph Marr and I think it was Justin Atchison. So you're going to gain a few points on each of those 2 drivers. 2 weeks to go. We head to Mid-Ohio next week. How comfortable are you feeling about potentially getting yourself up top of the championship points here with 2 races left?
I'm hoping to have a decent result. Admittedly, haven't raced too much of Mid-Ohio, which I know is going to be a crime to admit, but I'm looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but great things about Mid-Ohio. It always races well. Another track like Zandvoort that's got elevation that'll come into play. So, can take some lessons from tonight's race and apply them to next week as well. So, at this point, in the top 3, trying to make a push to the top of the heap, just trying to maximize as many points as I can. So, really it's just keeping in a good position and, try and get the best result that we can. So drops are going to play a factor. I'm not sure how, everybody's shaping up with drops not being counted yet. So we'll see.
Excellent stuff. Anybody you want to shout out here, Brian, before we let you
go? Just got to shout out, Apex as always for putting on the league. I got to shout out, you and putting the broadcasts on each week, so we can go back and watch all the entertainment that we missed being in the car. Shout out my team, Maximum Effort Motorsports. Great bunch of friends that are just hanging out, having fun, and shout out the wife for putting up with this crazy hobby that we enjoy so much. So, yeah.
Excellent stuff. Well, best of luck next week's in, and we'll see if you're at the sharp end again.
See you next week.
Take care. That was our race winner, Brian Zinn. Let's bring in our second place driver, Joseph Marr. Joseph, looks like pit strategy helped you out too as well. As I was just saying to Zinn, the two of you came in a little earlier than Lemke and Meager, and it looked like it worked to your advantage.
Yeah, it did. I'm happy to be at the front today. I was not expecting to be there.
Now, I asked Zinn this question too as well. Turn 3, we saw a number of drivers. I don't know how many you saw on your windshield, but we saw a number of drivers actually struggle in turn 3. Lemke was one of them. Corey Mitchell, Kent Kruger, Sean Teeter, Kelly Greeno, to name a few of them, all struggling with keeping the back end on the car heading into turn 3 of the bank section. Did you have any issues through there at all?
In practice, I definitely did. I was struggling a lot in practice, and somehow it all came together in the race. So, like I said, I'm happy to be where I was.
And do you think it was just that the car doesn't have a ton of downforce, or was there a lot of gravel getting thrown up on the outside of that corner? Do you think might have played a role in it?
I think it's just it weights the car weird, so it makes it really easy to spin out. You get a bunch of cross weight there.
Okay. Next week we head to Mid-Ohio. Is it a track you feel comfortable driving at?
I like Mid-Ohio. Unfortunately, I am out of town next week, so it's going to have to be a drop week.
Oh, well, I should say excellent, but it's excellent for you that you have one of your drop weeks to take advantage of. But you came into this race heading the championship standings. You finished up second, so ahead of your two major championship contenders in Justin Atchison I guess Sid came in third. But that drop week going to play a role, and we finish up in Indy at the road course. I know that's a track that I myself am not a big fan of, but I know there's a lot of people that are really big fan of Indy. Which side of the discussion do you stand on, Joseph? Are you a fan of Indy road course, or is it a track that you kind of just have mellow feelings towards?
Yeah, I tend to like it. No struggles there too much in the past.
Excellent stuff. Best of luck to you next week. I guess you're off next week. Best of luck to you in the finale, Joseph. Hopefully you can still come into that one leading the championship points. Anybody you want to shout out here before we let you
go? My cousin Mike, he's getting married next week. That's where I'm going to be. So,
excellent stuff.
Congrats to him.
Congrats, cousin Mike, and everybody listening. The drinks are on Joseph, so go see Joseph for all your drinks. Take care, Joseph. Hopefully we see you up at the sharp end in the finale.
All right, thanks a lot.
Take care. So that was our second place finisher, Joseph Marr. Looks like that is all the drivers we have in the booth for this week. So we will we'll call it quits for here. So 2 more rounds to go. Championship battle really shaping out to be interesting here with Brian Zinn. Came into this one in 3rd place. He's going to take the win. Definitely going to gain some points on Justin Atchison, who came into this one in the top 3. So Atchison only finishing in 7th place. He's going to have to potentially maybe use one of his drop weeks this week to try and mitigate that point loss. But that's going to do us for us here. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, for Mid-Ohio in the Ferrari Challenge. For Racer Nexus, I'm Rob Campbell. Again, if you have any interest in having your league or host an event broadcasted and you want us to do it, by all means, drop us a line. We can take care of that for you. But until next week, bye for now.